Thank the Chairman for yielding, and thank you, Director Cordray, for being here. As you know, I've had a overdraft bill in for several years that cracks down on unfair and deceptive practices that drive up fees that some, not all, but some financial institutions put forward. So I'd like to ask you about these fees and what the Bureau is doing about it. You have published two excellent reports that I've seen on overdraft fees. And these reports clearly demonstrate that overdraft fees are still far too high and are eating into some of the most vulnerable citizens' savings. There are some startling statistics from the Bureau's latest overdraft study. Most overdraft fees are incurred on purchases of just $24 or less and are paid back within 3 days. But the median overdraft fee for these small overdrafts is still a whopping $34. So you have a $24 overdraft, and you're paying a $34 fee for 3 days of borrowing money. And according to your report, consumers would be paying for these 3 days a 17,000% annual percentage rate. The ranking member was concerned about a 400% annual rate, and I agree with her. But I think everybody in this room can agree that a 17,000% annual rate for borrowing for 3 days borrowing $24 on a $24 overdraft is like outrageous. So my question is, what do you plan to do, or do you plan to do anything about these excessive fees? What is your plan?
I would agree with you. The 17,000% rate of interest is
it's almost unbelievable.
Quite high. However, what I will say is, as you indicated, first of all, we're well aware of your interest in this area and your legislative efforts, and have had a number of discussions with your staff that have been helpful, I think, both ways in understanding the issue better. We have indicated on our unified agenda, which is where we publish to the world in a transparent way what we see as on our agenda for rulemaking in advance, that overdraft is on that agenda. It's a crowded agenda at the moment. We will work to finalize rules on prepaid cards. We'll work to finalize the rules on the Home Mortgage Disclosure Act. As I indicated, we're very close to starting the public process on payday and small dollar rules. Debt collection is also on that agenda, and that's a very large subject. Overdraft is on that agenda as well. We have, as you said, done a considerable amount of research here. Again, published, I think, 2 white papers, both of which represent very detailed analysis of the overdraft issues. We've also done examination work of institutions around issues involving overdraft that have resulted in remediation to consumers. So we've come at this and begun to understand this problem from a number of different angles, and it is something that we do intend to take up as we can.
Thank you. And going back to the prepaid cards, many people in this committee, and I would say some of the biggest players in the industry, such as Wells Fargo, Green Dot, and others, and I understand that they are the largest prepaid card companies in the country. It's my understanding that they called on the Bureau to simply ban overdraft programs for prepaid cards, because these cards should be exactly that, prepaid. They should not be a de facto credit card. So I was pleased to see that your proposed rule took strong steps to limit overdraft on prepaid cards, but the proposed rule stopped short of an outright ban. So I'm concerned that this could incentivize companies to find loopholes in the rule that would allow them to keep collecting overdraft fees on prepaid cards. And I understand you're still considering an outright ban on overdraft for prepaid cards. Is this something that you're going, what is your plan for this? What are we going to see in the final rule?
So I can't prejudge that at this point. We have a proposal out that, as you indicated, would put any kind of overdraft product or credit product in a framework that would be governed by the CARD Act, which I think was a very appropriate framework. Frankly, I know you're a strong advocate of that and champion of it. We have comments still coming in through the end of this month, and then we'll consider and digest those and move to finalize in accordance with what they raised to us. So that's about all I can say at the moment.
And when do you expect this?
Go ahead and get your
Just the timing, when will this rule be out?
Later this year.
Later?
Yep.
time of the gentlelady has expired. The chair now recognizes the gentleman from Wisconsin, Mr. Duffy, chairman of our Oversight and Investigations Subcommittee.